From one Pittsburgh-based organization to the next. For over 15 years, the Delta Foundation of Pittsburgh has brought together the LGBT residents in the city of Pittsburgh. The group hosts events, fundraisers, and support projects, all in hope to bring together the community and help to fight for one goal: equality. With their ever-popular Pride events coming up in June, members of the Delta Foundation have been working to ensure this year's event will top last year's affair. Right now, I'm joined by Chris Braun, who's in charge of marketing and development for the Delta Foundation. Chris, thank you so much for coming today. Now, you literally are a trooper because you just got off a plane, what, like 3 hours ago from New York City?
I did. I was pleased to attend the National P-Flag Straight for Equality benefit last night in New York City.
And you probably met so many awesome people there, am I right?
I did. Audra McDonald, who is a very famous Broadway actress, and her husband, Will Swenson, who is actually on Broadway now, and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, were both honored.
Oh, Bette Midler show.
Yes, as well as lots of other really great folks. But it was really a great event. You know, one of the things we talk about a lot is the allies and the support of allies to bring, in order to get true equality, it's going to be the allies that are going to make it happen.
Definitely.
So there were probably about 800 people there, and it was really exciting to be there.
So this is just one of the many gimmicks that you get as being, you know, basically one of the head people at the Delta Foundation. So what else do you really get to do, you know, with the big shoes you get to
Well, actually,
wear?
Pride at this point is a 365-day endeavor. I've been planning and working on Pride since August of last year. So June, Pride ends. I take a couple weeks off, let my feet get a rest, and then we're back on the street, meeting with corporate sponsors and getting everything ready to go for next year. So it's at this point, it's definitely a year-long planning process.
Definitely. Well, I explained a little bit about what the Delta Foundation does, but can you give me maybe a little more on what exactly your mission is?
Yeah, it's quite simply just to really raise the awareness of the LGBT community here in Pittsburgh. You know, we really believe that in order for the city to grow and be diverse and be an exciting place for people to live, that you have to have a very exciting and vibrant gay and lesbian community. And so we plan events throughout the year that bring attention to the community, Pride being our largest event, and really think that by holding events such as a Pride, people come down, they celebrate who they are, and most importantly, it's a great time for all of Pittsburgh to come together.
Well, Pride's a fairly new thing too, right? It's only a few years you guys have been doing this for?
We've been doing Pride for now about 5 years. I mean, Pride has existed in Pittsburgh since the early 70s, and in one way, shape, or form. It used to be a small festival on the north side. There's been small marches that have happened in Shadyside and downtown, but really 5 years ago was when the first Pride in the Street happened, with Tiffany, for those of you who remember, and it continues to grow every year. In fact, we've doubled our attendance over last year, and last year we had 67,000 people. So
you're always looking to up the game from next year?
Always looking to up the game. Last year we had Patti LaBelle as our main headliner for Pride in the Street, and we are just about ready to announce who our entertainer will be this year.
I am very excited. I can't wait to hear. I hear it's a big one, definitely. So we'll definitely be looking forward to that, hopefully soon.
Yep.
But I consider you definitely an activist. So do you see yourself as an activist in the gay community?
You know, it's interesting. I'm probably one of the few straight people who run a Pride organization throughout the country, and I think people kind of find that very interesting. We talk a lot about how civil rights for African Americans really happened because white people said, this is enough. We're done doing this. There's no reason why they should be treated differently. And I think that in the gay and lesbian community, the same thing exists. In order for there to be true equality to happen, it's going to have to be the straight allies, and me included, who says, you know what, this is ridiculous. Why isn't everybody being treated the same? I took this position as a temporary assignment for 3 months, and you know, I'm an event planner. I'm a marketing person, which is what I do in heart. But I have become an activist, and very much have brought lots of my straight friends to the table who may have never otherwise thought about the struggles that LGBT people face all the time. So
Right. Well, one big issue right now that I think is taking place is definitely gay marriage. We have 2 states that just legalized gay marriage this year so far. So do you think this is going to be a trend? Do you think more states are going to kind of follow this bandwagon to the end of this year?
I do, and I think one thing that, it was interesting, I was talking to a gentleman last night who used to work for Coretta Scott King, which was brilliant to talk to him for as long as I did, and he spoke about how the struggle for civil rights in the African American community really took a long time, and in some ways it's still not there. There's still lots of discrimination happening within that community, and I think when you look at that and then you look at how fast civil rights are happening for the LGBT community, it's happening at a very, very fast pace. What we're witnessing right now is really amazing. It really started with the Don't Ask, Don't Peel repeal happening, and we're seeing more and more states sign on to marriage equality. Pennsylvania, I fear, will probably be the last one to do it, yes. Given our current state of what's happening politically. But I think that more and more we're seeing that people don't understand why it has to be different.
Well, you brought up a lot of good topics we can kind of branch off upon right now. Politics being one. Right now, so many things have gone on in the presidential election so far, specifically with the Republican nominations and whatnot. You had Michelle Bachmann, who had the crazy, therapy sessions with her husband. You had Rick Perry's ad that was, viral on YouTube. So now we have Rick Santorum. So do you think that he's kind of a danger to the gay community?
Well, I mean, I think he lost Pennsylvania when he ran the last time, and I think he's going to lose again. I find it interesting that the Republicans are using social issues as a platform when I think there's much larger things that need to be discussed, like the economy for one, gas prices. I mean, it's amazing to me that we're still talking about contraceptive after all these times,
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, Obama, he seems to be very pro-gay. So what do you make of someone like that? I mean, do you think that he will get elected? And do you think he's going to? Because I read rumors online that a lot of people were saying that after the election, he's probably going to come out in support of gay marriage. What do you think?
I think of any president that's been in office, he's come the furthest when it comes to marriage equality and civil rights for the LGBT community. I mean, if I had a crystal ball and could predict, I would, but unfortunately I don't. I think things are definitely in his favor. He's come a long way from where it is. He has not actually come out and said he's for marriage equality, but he's for civil unions. I mean, he's getting there, and I think that hopefully he'll get there eventually.
Definitely. Well, one thing that Obama did do was repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and that was actually one of the events that the Delta Foundation puts on is Spark, which is kind of like a fundraiser to earn, any kind of funds you can to help promote, the actual Pride events in June.
Right.
And I was there on the night that it was repealed, and it was amazing being there, and everybody had a toast, and it's kind of like, it's really being a part of history,
It was very much an interesting part of history, and it was interesting I was watching that night. We had an event that night, and also the night that marriage passed in New York City was about a week after Pittsburgh Pride happened, and my friends who run New York City Pride were just elated, and what a special time to be up there during that time.
Definitely. Well, of course, there's so many successes in the gay community, but with the successes come a lot of downfalls, and recently, within the past year and a half, there's been a lot of suicides that have taken place in the gay community. So what do you guys do as an advocate for gay rights? What do you do to kind of help these kids with maybe the struggles that they're going through?
Well, I think one of the things that's interesting about Pride is it creates a safe space for people. I think when people come down to Pride, either if they're not out of the closet yet, or they are close to coming out of the closet, it gives them a chance to be with a bunch of other people who are just like them. That they realize that they're no different than anyone else. And we've gotten letters from kids who have said, "Thank you so much for doing Pride. You've literally saved my life. I've been kicked out of my house," so on and so forth. So we really believe that not only is Pride a celebration, but it's really a time for people to come and recognize that they're not alone.
Right, definitely.